So those that don't know the program, this is our monthly online pitch event here. The brand is called Dental Venture Capital. It actually started out as a newsletter. The name is not as relevant these days because what we do is we prepare companies and get them ready for dental venture capital or venture capital investment opportunities as well. So a lot of the people that are on can share some of the stories of what we've done to get them ready for that. I've been advising doing this program in particular for about 2 years now, but I've launched hundreds of products in the dental industry. We take people from idea to exit. It's really a 90-day program is what we start with. I love to get people early on in the process where I'm helping build the idea of my specialty and launching 27 products and most of them failing is that you got to make sure you got right product market fit, right? But eventually a lot of the clients we work with are in the customer scaling side of the business. So that's a quick intro about the program. You can learn more about it at dentalvc.org. We do these monthly pitch events every month. We have this 90-day program, and I'm spending about 3 hours a week with each of my clients. Alvin is one of them, most of the people pitching our clients. And so that's a little bit about the program. All right, Alvin, you ready?
Cool. Thanks, Travis. I'm just now getting back from being sick. I've been sick for a few days now, and so bear with me if my voice kind of cracks. So let me share the screen, and then let me know if you guys see it.
All right.
Got it. Okay, cool. Everybody sees it now?
Yep.
Okay, so for most of you guys that were on here, we did kind of go through an intro, but just a way of introduction again, my name is Alvin Utai, founder and CEO of Elite Dental Force. We are a startup SaaS company located in Saratoga Springs, Utah, with a focus on simplifying and optimizing the entire billing and insurance process, making it easier for dental offices to get to clean claims correctly the first time, every time. And so before I jump into a little bit about me and also about the company, our mission is to bridge the communication gap between dental office staff members, insurance companies, and patients. I want to share with you guys the problem that we're addressing and why this mission is so critical. The problem that we're addressing is that dental offices and DSOs are losing time, money, and energy in dealing with tedious processes that take up too much time, take up too much energy, and then at the same time takes up too much money. And so we've done some research within the past 5 years. I've been doing this for about 6 years now. My mother-in-law actually got me into this. She's been in it for about 43 years. She's worked on the back and the front side. And she came to me and said, "Hey, can you look at this?" And I said, "Yeah, let's check it out." And so from there on, Elite Dental Force was born. And for the past 5 years, I've been doing nothing but R&D. And these are some of the findings that I have found within the industry. Industry is losing anywhere from like 300 to 900 hours just dealing with the process. And it's very tedious. And a lot of it is done by manual work. And there's reasons behind that too. We also found that there's a huge leakage within the industry. There's about $16 billion that's being lost on the dental side, but we're also losing money on the insurance side. We've done some research and found that the insurance side is losing money as well. They're leaking money, paying call centers, and then also paying people to go in and actually review the claims to make sure that it updates with policies and procedures. And then clean claim gap that's happening in the industry is about 70 to 75% on the first submission. So if you think about that, that's still a lot of room for error to occur. And so that's exactly what Elite Dental Force is doing. And these are some of the numbers that we've found within the past 4 years. If you notice, we did the medical and also the dental side because we are also spearheading the medical side as well on the billing. And so if you look at the denial rate, it's going up and it continues to go up. And so this is also something that we have identified that's causing the 3 biggest pain points in the industry. First one is turnover rate. Second one within employees. Second one is your low reimbursements. And then third one is overhead costs. And so these are just some of the numbers that we were able to get from our data research. We've also I put this here because it's important to kind of see the overview of what's happening. We did like an estimate round, and it was about like 183,900 offices in the US, and 80 to 85% of them go through dental or accept dental insurance, and about 70% of that is PPO, and For those that have worked in the PPO space, it's very complex and very tedious. And then your 15% and 25% of the revenue is through your administrative costs. And then loss due to error is about 5 to 15% of the revenue. So what is the solution? Our solution is a product called Edify. Edify is your one-stop solution that solves all of the pain points that makes it easier for us to get to clean claims. It is going to be structured as a compute. Accelerated compute is actually one of the biggest commodity right now in the tech industry. And so we don't have that. I believe we don't have it in the dental side. And when we first started and when I looked at this, I knew right from the beginning, because you're dealing with interoperability, it was going to be hard to get access to certain things because each system have different languages that they operate in, which makes things very complicated. And so when you put an AI agent or AI that goes into it, it makes it, the accuracy on it is never accurate because you're dealing with systems that don't speak to one another. And so what Edify is going to be able to do is have submissions and tracking, like where your claims are going, have visibility of what the claim is, why the claim wasn't done correctly. It checks all these boxes, but it's an intelligent being that goes in and implements best practice based off of historical data, and it learns from it. But more importantly, you have to have a structure, a core engine that really understands these things, the rules for insurance companies. And we've done research on this. Delta Dental has 415 rules, and that's just Delta Dental. These are some of the things that Elite Dental Force, just for the sake of time, is going to be able to do. It's going to be able to actually tell you whether or not the claim is going to be accepted. And then it will also tell you how you can rectify it and make sure that it gets up to 100%. But all of that is being trained on the back end. This is why it's important that we have a compute first core engine that you set everything up. And that way we don't have to worry about interoperability and so forth. This is an ongoing situation that's been going on for years, and I've put a pretty good team together to be able to spearhead this. So what really makes us different is accelerated compute layer of dentistry, where we operate from the middle. So our software sits on the top, and it actually scrubs everything to make sure that it's applicable to what those regulations and rules are before you even submit things to the insurance companies or to the clearinghouses. Another thing that makes us different is it's a clean claim intelligence. It should be able to understand what a clean claim looks like. And then it will give you, again, that probability. The other thing too is eligibility infrastructure and not checkbox. The eligibility stuff that we're doing right now, a lot of it is going in and just doing the integration rather than actually really understand the algorithms, really understanding the process of what that looks like so we can develop a best practice for that and move forward. So this is our team. These are the founding members. We have Seti Motua as our chief operating officer. He has about 25 plus years of being in the operation side of things. We have Heather, who is a certified dental assistant with 30 years of experience that leads and guides us in some of the operation stuff. We have Matalena. She has about 43 years of experience. And then Nadine has about 25 years of experience. And then Alex has done so many integrations. It was actually shared by Travis Rogers. And it's also a good friend of Travis Rogers. He's done so many integrations. Travis can vouch for me on this. He probably has done more integrations than anybody out there. And so this is the reason why we picked them strategically. This is our board of advisors. There's a total of 12 advisors. One of them that we take pride in right now is Dr. Joseph Arrington, who's a medical doctor that does research on procedures and also compliances and things like that that has to do with ICT 10 codes. And so we also have Siona Motufao, who has 2 practices up in Colorado. He does full mouth restoration, and he has been in multiple things that allows him to give us credibility in what he does. And then obviously we have Benjamin Tuné, who's the king of key fee negotiations. He was also endorsed by Gordon Christensen, who's a huge role in dentistry. And then we have Travis, we have Sheldon, who does the Invisalign. So each and every one of these guys have a specific role that we've called them up to play within the industry. And we're leaning into these guys' expertise. Elite Dental Force is being led by clinicians. And we're still looking for more advisors and more strategic partners to come again to kind of put this whole vision together. These are our partners. These are our competitors. This is our business model. And our go-to-market is we actually are looking for DSOs. We have 2 contracts that we're looking to put in, exclusive contracts that has about 10,000 offices that as soon as the product is done, we will distribute that out and sign the contracts for that. This is our initiative and goals. This is our product roadmap. Our eligibility is actually going to be going out the 4th quarter of this year. And then our billing cycle will actually go out in April or May. This is our market size. This is what we're looking for. We're looking to raise $2.5 million with a safe raise of $2.5 million post money cap. The minimum investment is $25,000. Where that investment is going to go is towards production, a little bit on the marketing side, and then ops and support, and then the infrastructure. And then if you want to get a hold of me, the QR code is there.
I put Alvin's contact info in the chat, LinkedIn, his investor page. He also does a monthly webinar as well. One thing you didn't mention, Alvin is a black belt in Six Sigma. So he kind of brings that background to the dental industry. We like having people come outside the industry, but obviously there's some extra guidance because it is a unique industry, and Alvin has jumped right in on that. So any questions for Alvin? Got a minute and 20 seconds left. All right, we'll move on. Brock, you're up.
All right, I'm going to share my screen. All right, guys, can you see my screen?
Yep.
Okay, great. So I'm Brock Predovich. I'm the founder and CEO of BiteZen, and we're creating relief through awareness. Now, show of hands in the group here. Has anyone experienced any one of these symptoms? Frequent headaches, migraines, neck pain, jaw pain, ringing in your ears, dizziness, or maybe you cracked or broken a tooth along the way. Well, I've suffered from each one of these conditions. Back in 2016, I went through a series of unfortunate events. I went through a motorcycle accident, which put me in the hospital. And then about a month after that, I had contracted dengue fever, which would put me back in the hospital. And then a month after that, I ruptured a disc in my lower back and then had to have back surgery. So all these events in a short period of time, about 3 months, left me completely stressed out. And that's when I started waking up each morning with a pain in my jaw and a migraine. Now, that's why I've spent over the last 10 years of my life working on a solution to address the root cause of each one of these symptoms. What I found out along the way is that each one of these symptoms is a multi-billion-dollar problem for insurance companies globally. Also, each one of these symptoms is a byproduct of Bruxism, which is unconscious teeth clenching and grinding. It's when you show up to the dentist and half your smile is gone because you've ground away your teeth during the night. Now, Bruxism affects 1 in 3 people, but sadly, less than 10% of those who suffer are ever diagnosed or receive treatment. But this less than 10% that is receiving treatment accounts for a $7.2 billion global market. Now, the current solution that's on the market is a dumb mouth guard. It's a simple piece of plastic that protects your teeth but does nothing to stop the unwanted behavior of bruxism. What we need is a smart guard. The problem with building a smart guard is the sensor technology that's out there on the market is expensive at scale, and it's also brittle. It breaks very easily inside the mouth with the pressures of clenching and grinding. So we've invented a patent-pending sensor material that allows us to create a very thin material that's durable and also very flexible. It's actually about 0.5 millimeter in thickness. And it's also a fraction of the cost of the competitors. Now, this material allows us to create the Zen sensor. The Zen sensor allows us to make any third-party mouth guard smart. With the Zen sensor, dental labs across the country can make their mouth guard smart, capable of detecting clenching and grinding behaviors. The Zen sensor sends this information to an app on the patient's smartphone where they can monitor the behavior. The patient will also get the ability to upgrade to our premium features, which will give them real-time vibratory feedback through their smartwatch or auditory feedback through their earbuds. And all along, their dentist is getting this information as well and able to remotely monitor their patient's progress. Now, our go-to-market strategy is we're working with dental labs. We're partnering with dental labs because they already have the sales channels and technicians already in place. We're going to be arming patients and dentists with data, which by making every mouth guard smart. And every patient that gets one of our devices will have free access to our app on their smartphone. We'll be able to track their behavior, but they'll also be able to upgrade to our premium features, which will actually give them relief from their symptoms. So in this way, we're making hardware sales to the dental labs, but we're making ongoing subscription sales directly to the patient. We already have 5 dental lab partnerships in place. Now, the market for this is huge. We're entering a $600 million obtainable market with a clear pathway to a $21 billion opportunity as we scale. Now, let's look at this in a different way. We have 100 million people here in the US that are currently bruxing, and there's 180,000 dentists that are serving them. There's only 7,000 dental labs that are serving those dentists. So you can see why we've picked this as our core customer, because it allows us to reduce our sales and marketing costs, and dental labs are a force multiplier for us. If you look at our COGS here, we're sitting at $1.50 per module that we'll be selling to dental labs. Right now, the pilot partnerships that we have in place, we're going to give them $10 per module for the first 2 years, and then it will increase to $30 per module. And the ongoing subscription sales will be $59 per year. We have a team that has been working on this technology for over 10 years. And thanks to Lou Schumann, we won an award in the dental industry back in 2020. Now, the current partners that we have in place, and this has been just in the last 6 weeks that we launched our pilot program, we've grabbed 5 dental labs that are partnering with us, and we have more relationships on the way. This relationship with Remy represents a $150,000 per month opportunity. Now, let's look at traction. We have a patent pending thin, flexible, durable force sensor. We have 5 dental lab partnerships that are already in place, which gives us access to over 1,000 dental offices that they serve. We have a clear regulatory pathway. Well, it's going to take about 4 to 6 months to get it clear to start selling. We have a module that makes any mouth guard smart and turns every dentist into a hero. And we have smart technology that actually relieves people of their pain and protects their teeth. But we're not done. This is a huge, massively underserved market. Over 90% of the market is currently underserved. So imagine if we could assess for bruxism at scale. The current sensor assessment technology that's out on the market looks like this. It's bulky, there's wires everywhere, it's complex, it requires special software and training to use, and it's expensive. So about $3,000. So if we're going to assess bruxism at scale, this is just not going to work. So we've invented the Zen sensor. The Zen sensor is a universal fit device that goes inside the patient's mouth, records their clenching and grinding activity, sends this information to their smartphone, and also makes this information available to their dentist. So here's why this is awesome. This will allow us to assess bruxism at scale, so we'll be able to reveal more patients within the practice that are actually suffering from bruxism well before damage occurs. So you're able to assess them before damage occurs, before things get painful. You're also able to increase case acceptance rates, which is really important, especially for DSOs, which are very concerned about their numbers and finding every little niche they can to increase those. One more thing. As we're making every mouth guard smart and as we're assessing for bruxism at scale, we're also collecting data. We're collecting data on 1/3 of the population. That's over 100 million people here in the US and billions worldwide. This data we already know costs insurance companies billions of dollars in claims cost. So with our data, insurance companies will be able to create preventative strategies to reduce billions of dollars in claims costs and improve overall patient outcome. Now, if you look at our competition, this is kind of a busy slide, but I want you to get this from the slide, is that we've purposely engineered and purposely created our go-to-market strategy to be as high in clinical integration as we can and a go-to-market scalability. If you look at some of our competition, there's a couple of headbands that are on the market. The kind of OG within the biofeedback detection space is the Sleep Guard. And then now in the last couple of years, there's been a couple other headbands that have come to market called JawSense and the Abrux. The problem is with both of these technologies, one, the original didn't really do very well. It would always fall off people's heads while they're sleeping. And also if they sweat or if they move around, the EMG sensors that it uses become less effective. So outside of the lab environment, EMG sensor technology just really isn't effective. The problem is with these 2 competitors that have come into the market is that SleepGuard actually owns the patent on EMG sensors being able to detect the clenching and grinding behaviors from the temporalis muscle. So most likely these guys are going to have to find another route to their headband approach because they're probably going to get a cease and desist. The other mouth guards that are on the market, one is Zareen. It has a module that sits outside of the mouth, so it is very uncomfortable to sleep with. And you can just imagine that a couple of times knocking against that, they're just going to pull it out of their mouth. The BiteZen Zen sensor is a very elegant design for a mouth guard. It senses grinding and clenching behaviors and reports this to an app on the patient's smartphone. but their bond tests are very high and their fabrication process is technical. There's another device that's on the market, but it's called a AcibIte, and it's basically just for assessments only, and it only lasts 25 days. There's a couple other products I'm going to go through is Clench Alert. It's this module you put inside the mouth. The form factor is quite a bit off. It is uncomfortable to sleep with from the people that I've talked to that have used it. When you're clenching and grinding on the same device that's vibrating, your brain will confuse those signals and the biofeedback will become less effective over time. The other device that's entered the market is the Zove device, but it's earbuds that go inside the ears, it sits behind your neck. So anytime you toss or turn in the night, those earbuds are going to just pop right out. So it's not necessarily a great approach. So what we have is we have an ability with our ZenFit device to assess a scale. This will help us reveal more patients that need our treatment and need a mouth guard, but this also have an ability to make every mouth guard smart with our Zen sensor. We were raising $2.5 million in 3 tranches. This first tranche will be for $500,000. This is our use of funds. Main thrust of the funds is to work with our pilot partners, get manufacturing in place, submit to the FDA for that 3 to 4 month process that it'll take to get all our ducks in a row there. And then we'll also be building our patent portfolio as well. So if you're interested in investing, here's my email. You can email me at. And just a kind of a side note is that I've purposely headquartered the business in a rural town, actually my hometown, because it offers all these different tax incentives, not only to BiteZen, but also to our investors as well, to shield themselves from capital gains. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, great job, Brock. And I put Brock's information, website, his investor page, and his LinkedIn in the chat as well. So any questions for Brock?
Yes, I have one. It's Carrie.
Hi.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yes. And if you can hear any banging and stuff in the background, I'm
No,
sorry.
we're good.
We're having a really good windstorm here.
Good. So this is Carrie Lyons. Love the technology, get it. I, kind of know enough to really understand it. What I don't understand is how are dentists going to know about it and prescribe it?
We're counting on our partnerships with dental labs that already have those sales channels in place.
It's going to be an appliance that a dental lab offers along with everything else. Okay.
Exactly. And then if you look at mouth guards in the market right now, there's a bunch of direct-to-consumer competitors that enter the market, and they're pushing down the price. So the mouth guard is really becoming a commodity. So that's why dental labs, the conversations we've had with dental labs have been so easy because they are starving for innovation, and they see that price keep going down for the product that they produce. And this gives them the chance to have a unique offer in the marketplace.
But do you have any dentists like luminaries that you feel could communicate the product and the messaging to dentists outside of the labs?
I believe we have a couple of relationships in place that we're going to be leveraging for
Right.
that specific purpose.
Hey, Brock, I'm happy to chime in if you want for a minute.
Sure.
Yeah, so we obviously took a very big interest in this from a dental network perspective. And that was one of the conversations that I had with Brock, is less on the fund side, but more on the global network side. And you're right that, the word has to get out from an educational perspective and from a distribution perspective at a network level of dentists. So we're going to spend a lot of time on our Global Health Impact Network, really promoting this technology from an educational perspective and from a use perspective. So we plan on helping Brock quite a bit with that.
Great. Thanks, Gary. All right. Thanks, Brock. Up next, Dentrax. You in a spot to present there?
All right, let me know if you see my screen.
Yep, we see it.
Okay, let me get to
The slide show up at the top right.
move this bar right there. So I'm presenting today, which is a AI-powered integrated dental operations ecosystem. And I am the founder and the brain behind it. I have a team of about 20 developers that are working with me. We've been building the product since last 7 years. I built it for my own teams. When I started my practice and I got from one to the second to the third practice, I started realizing that it is very important for the sake of scale and improving the margins of the practice to have teams that are working outside of the four walls of a dental practice. And I built that team and placed that team in India. And they were doing all my back office operations, including eligibility verifications and claim submissions, claim statusing, accounts receivables, credentialing. And then I saw an immediate improvement in the profitability of the business. And my colleagues saw it. And they decided to approach me to see if I can build teams for them. So I started building teams for them, and suddenly the number of clients that we were servicing for the managed services side started increasing. Then I realized that the teams that were working for me, we just found the problem to be compounded because there were staff shortages here in the United States, specifically after COVID. And then the inefficiencies that came with staff shortages leading to inadequate processes that led to inadequate collection of funds, which led to a decrease in profitability. And we found that about 7 to 13% of the revenue in a dental office is lost due to inadequacies in operations. So when I noticed all of that, I was like, okay, we need to, augment this with the technology. Started looking at technologies. There were lots of products out there. Every single product that we wanted to use or we used were disconnected products because they were not talking to each other. The data was stored in a very siloed space with individual databases. So, for example, Dental Intel was doing certain features for a dental office, but it was not talking to Weave that was doing other process for a dental office, or it was not talking to Vine or Change Healthcare or any kind of billing software. So all of these disconnected systems created a lot of confusion, lots of lost passwords, a lot of issues related to how people were collaborating. So that gave rise to creating an ecosystem of sorts where we decided, okay, let's solve this problem. It's an acute problem in the industry by creating this AI-powered ecosystem. So when I say AI-powered, I know that people are kind of cringing at that word nowadays after 2024 related to AI, because people are realizing that there are lots of shiny objects out there and they're not working. Some things are working and some are not. So we have overlaid our technology with true AI, whereas we have agentic conversational AI in the system that we have created. We have made it functional, which means that you don't have to have an AI agent answer your phone calls through Dentcom and not be able to make an appointment in the patient management software directly. So you don't have to create additional lists and create additional work for your staff to be able to pick out these patients that have made appointments from a Google Calendar onto your patient management software. We are truly integrated with our AI agent and with the patient management software. Apart from agentic AI, we have document processing AI that we utilize in our modules, specifically related to insurance eligibility verification faxes and eligibility explanation of benefit faxes and paperwork that come into the office. These are for offices that do not sign up for ERAs. If people have signed up for electronic remittance advice, our system is able to pick up that digital file and create documents and notes for the billers so that they can directly read those notes, are able to enhance claim and split the claim and send the claim out again to be paid by the insurance company. So we have an engine in place where we have a full ecosystem from the point of the patient making the phone call in the office through any marketing channel to the point of making eligibility verifications seamless and automated, to point of claim submission and claim statusing automatically, and then reconciling the bank accounts with the patient management software for every single day, week after week, so that you don't have to do the laborious work of pulling up the collections report from the system and manually checking each and every item, whether it reconciled with the bank or not. We are doing it automatically. We have true integrations with 250 banks in the US and true integrations with major PMSs, patient management softwares, that capture 95% of the market share. And then this piece, which is the accounts receivables piece, We have been able to preserve the whole life cycle of the claim within one area. If there is one particular claim that goes through 5 cycles of getting paid, all of that is preserved in one area. All the version histories are preserved. All the communication, every single comment that every person has worked on the claim is preserved in one place so that the other person can easily read through it and do the necessary things for an appeal. We have a really cool tool called Dent Comply, which takes care of the compliances of a dental office, whether it's related to state board, federal levels, county level, whether it's chemical spills, whether it's needle stick injury, all the incidents are logged into one place. And then there are notifications that go out to the users about their expiration dates and whatnot. Then we have a very good analytics tool, which allows for the users to access more than 150 different KPIs so that they can develop their OKRs and create deliverability for profitability of the practice. And then we have a very good incentive tool, which is very futuristic, AI supported, where the staff can log into their dashboards and basically track their own activities per patient, which means that if they have upsold a procedure in your practice, or they have put in a TikTok educational video through our platform, or they have gotten a 5-star review from a patient, every single activity that they do, whether it's related to the growth of the practice in terms of the revenues and profitability, or whether it's related to the reputation of the practice on the social media, they get points for that, and those points get converted into dollar value, which they see on their dashboard. So we've made it very gamified so that everybody stays interested in running the practice like it's their own business. So this is a complete product. We know the market in this space is pretty big. Our technology stack is awesome, and it's always evolving, and we're making it better and better every day. We plan to target all the offices, whether it's a single office or it's a DSO. We try to give licenses to those offices. It's a simple product where you have a multi-tenant login with a single login. You can onload organizations, you can onload the teams within an organization, you can onboard offices, as many as you want. And the onboarding process is given in the hands of the people. So onboarding can be done in a single day. This is our competitor analysis. We basically check all the boxes here. We provide a lot of features and a lot of different tools within one particular platform. And we have a very robust team, about 350 people that are supporting the product from the back end, whether it's related to the process of a practice, whether it's related to technology of the PMS or the technology of Dentrax. We can support big numbers and big clients. So the revenue drivers are primarily the conferences and direct sales that we'll be able to do either directly through our teams as well as channel partners and conferences and events. And then minority of the revenue drivers will be from cold outreach and digital social media advertisements. Our go-to-market strategy is plain and simple. Go to all the conferences and try to get in front of people as much as you can, penetration in the industry. We are asking for $5 million and giving up 20% of the equity. I have Nathan on the call if anybody has questions related to what we are doing in the form of safe notes. He is a licensed person who's doing that, on track to becoming the CFO of our company. But the projected valuation that we have for the $5 million that will be invested by investors, we would be able to return 10 times their investment with less than 3% of the TAM acquired over a period of 5 years. So this is my ask, and the allocation will be primarily towards building these sales and marketing teams. For that, we will be spending about $3.5 million from $5 million that we acquire. The product is ready. The product is already in use. We have 30 customers on it. And we have a pipeline of 175 clients that we have in our managed services side and raring to go. But I want the sales teams and all the front-facing teams to be in place before I launch it to them and then take it forward into the market for everybody to have access to it. Most of the product development that's going on right now is related to an AI overlay that we are finding every day that we can improve the product on and make it as much automated as possible so that the use of the product becomes very easy for the users. I'm happy to have questions, but this is our team. I'm the founder and CEO. Nathan Chitty is our investor relations, and he can answer all the questions related to the investments. Travis has been a great help. I've known Travis for the last 15 years. When I started to talk to him, I wanted him to make a product for me, and his integration capabilities with PMSs were awesome. And we started working at that time. After 12 years, I contacted him again, telling him that I have a finished product now. He was really surprised, but it has been a great run. Tausif is the chief marketing officer and business relations, and he also handles the team in India. Arafat is my co-founder and the chief operations officer. Mr. Nasser Ghazi is an ex-Microsoft. He worked with Satya Nadella when he was working in Microsoft, and then he spun off 3 different tech companies. After that, he's the CEO of another tech company called Tenacetics, which deals in the insurance space. So welcome to answer any questions you may have.
All right.
Ready to answer.
Thank you, Vajhat. And I put Vajhat's website in there, his personal brand page, if you want to book a call with him, as well as put his investor page in there as well. So, but his LinkedIn's in there as well. So any questions for Vajhat?
Yeah, I got a question real quick. It's been a while since we Palm Beach, but the question I
Sure.
had was, how are you overcoming the hallucinations of the AI? Because within this day of age, AI is, you
So,
run into-
so the purpose of what we do, we don't find a lot of hallucinations with it. For example, we are working on a piece where we are able to make phone calls to the insurance companies directly for eligibility verifications. There's a script, there's a very specific script. So the way we are handling our insurance eligibility verification is through a 3-tiered process. And the last part of that process is these calls that are going out to the insurance company. So by the time that our AI calls the insurance agents, the form is already like 95% filled. So for those 5 fields or for 7 fields, we've created like a background processing AI which figures out that, there are these 7 fields that are not filled, and then it can ask specific questions. So it's an intelligent system that basically takes into account all the mappings that we have done for close to 1,200 pairs, and that's where it is able to pick out all those specific questions. So there is no question of hallucination in there. And then, for example, if it's an agentic AI related to a patient that has called and wants to make an appointment, it's very specific. For example, total 25 instances, not more than that, that we have to train the AI on, whether it's related to which doctor it is or what kind of schedule that doctor has, which operatory that doctor works into, and which slot in that operatory for that particular day is empty. And then it's able to fetch the patient from the PMS based on the telephone number or based on the name and the date of birth of the patient, and it just becomes easy for it. So this functional aspect that we built has completely like almost eliminated the hallucination part of the AI that people encounter. So a lot of thought and a lot of expertise has gone into it to make sure that we make the process very easy for the voice AI agent to be able to answer questions that the patient may have. And if it's a new patient, it's a completely different conversation, because all they are trying to do is make an appointment for a specific purpose, whether they have a toothache or they want to do a second opinion for an implant or whatnot. I hope I answered your question.
Yeah, I mean, in certain aspects that is the case. You can do that, but I think, again, when I mentioned
So if
about
you-
accelerated compute,
Yeah.
right? Like,
Yeah.
that is the actual infrastructure, right? Of what makes your product a super product.
Yeah,
right?
exactly. So if you just go out and then just put the AI in like open without providing any kind of background help to it, it'll start to hallucinate after like 2 or 3, 4 questions, right? But if it has all the background knowledge and it has been trained on what to do and where to fetch and all of that, then, it performs like we used to train our front desk staff like 20 years ago, 15 years ago with a very tunnel vision. You cannot put it out in the open and then have it answer questions that are like really it's not an expert with. So we make sure that all that tunnel vision type of repetitious work that a dental office is supposed to do, you put it in the hands of AI and it can do a fabulous job. And then you can take the staff away from these, routine type of things, which are like absolutely easy to do with AI, and put them in front of the patients to have them perform the duties in customer care and patient care and make them, shine in front of the patient, make the office shine in front of the patients.
So this is a Regulation D 506C accredited investor. We're doing it with a PPM launching in January. We had a good law firm in Chicago that will prepare the PPM. We were working through a FINRA broker dealer, so we've got good compliance. It'll be a smooth process to qualify investors, minimum $50,000 for an investment.
Thank you, Nathan.
Thanks for everybody that joined. I'll leave the line open for a couple more minutes if anybody has any questions. Otherwise, I will see you on the next online pitch in 2026. And thanks for all your support this year. This has been a lot of fun and developed a lot of great relationships. And it's been fun to see the improvement of all these companies as they've pitched over and over as well. So thanks for everybody's support.